dinner and a movie, a classic romantic date night. But this Queen's Diner in New York City is giving it a 2020 update.
At first I was like, maybe people are not going to come.
Dinner comes straight to your car from the diner. And the movies? Classics, projected on a giant screen in the parking lot.
But we didn't think it was going to be this big. I mean, I have some people that are actually renting cars to come to this.
Demand for the $32 ticket is so overwhelming, shows sell out in less than a minute.
There was some points I was getting like 1,000, 2,000 DMs.
The diner says the drive-in is the plot twist that they needed. Okay, previews are over. Our feature presentation is all about positivity. So park it on your couch or take a seat. This is Good to Know.
I've never seen happier faces where kids just light up. Probably nothing better.
It's like a surprise, and everybody likes surprises.
These are such important stories that we don't forget.
I'm just going to say to this person, thank you.
Everything you take in creates an emotion.
Hey everybody, I'm Lindsay Boach and this is Good to Know. We've got a great show for you. It's really going to feed your soul. We're all about positivity here and entertaining, and we're kicking things off with a nightly dance party in Nashville.
There isn't a lot of movement these days in Nashville.
It's been a tough time.
We're kind of separated from our communities. We're isolated from them, and it feels really intense, especially with kids.
COVID-19 is keeping a lot of folks home.
No friends.
And routines, no matter your age, have been hard to keep.
It's been difficult, and it's very stressing, and it's very powerful, so we have to stay away from it.
That is, except for this.
All right, we ready? Really, it's become a ritual.
Each night, these neighbors hold a standing meeting with just one rule.
We dance.
No standing still.
We come out for about 20 to 30 minutes and dance.
A boombox dance party.
The idea started between four neighbors on this block in Sylvan Park.
Them, and us.
She sent a text out to the neighbors and said, what if we did a dance party?
I like dancing with you.
And they haven't missed a beat since lockdown began.
Sometimes we're like, oh, we gotta go to dance party.
No, I'm the best dance.
But every time we go to dance party, we're like, thank God we went to dance party.
Song selections vary from the greatest hits to some songs on the rise.
I love bread.
Well, the rise of yeast.
I love bread. I love bread.
It's pretty funny. The kids love it.
Every day. That's why I'm here to say I love bread.
Coincidentally, my husband, as a hobby, bakes bread.
Which has given rise to another new neighborhood tradition.
He brings bread to everybody.
You never had a hot loaf of bread coming out of the oven? Like, it's just so good.
But like the bread itself, there's time for things to heat up and a time to cool and slow down.
And there are some special moments. It's not like Fred and I just, hey, let's just slow dance.
Fred and Ann have been cherishing the slow and tender moments.
When the coronavirus goes away, are we going to keep
I don't know, that's a good point.
dancing?
Yeah, that's right.
5 o'clock every day?
I don't know.
And of course, we will get back to normal eventually.
Why are there so
But until the dark clouds pass, their connection to each other shines brighter than ever.
We don't just dance to dance, except, well, actually now we do.
I love Fred. I love Fred.
A standing appointment
Nice.
that no one can stand the thought of missing.
There's something magical about it.
Thanks for DJing.
We're going to keep the good times rolling with a music group in Virginia.
sometimes it's so surreal because it's like, oh, well, I get to do what I love for a living.
Working from home.
For me, I mean, inspiration can sometimes hit at 2 in the morning or 7 in the morning.
Is nothing new to Devon Harris.
Like no clock to it, for me at least.
He immerses himself in music every day.
Oh man, very lucky. Sometimes too lucky.
The record producer, aka DJ Harrison, is overcoming quarantine one beat at a time. The Petersburg native is the founder of Jellostone Records.
The music scene, it's like a huge, like tight-knit community.
The studio is an outlet for talented artists across Virginia, including his own band, Butcher Brown. The group has released several albums and toured the nation.
Everyone's feeding off of everybody. Like, you know, everyone brings something to the table.
But Devon says the magic really happens when members jam in person.
When something sticks and when something hits, there's an energy in a room where everyone looks around, like no one has to say anything, but everyone's just like, yeah, yeah.
These days, the 5 musicians are keeping their distance. It's hardly stopping Butcher Brown from releasing new music on social media every week.
It's been going pretty well so far.
During the pandemic, members like bass player Andy Randazzo record chosen songs at home. Devon melds the melodies and blends the beats.
I'll put the keyboards on there, we'll put the guitars on there, and then the horns will come up.
The final creation, Mothership Mondays.
10 years ago, this would have been harder. 20 years ago, maybe impossible.
On this day, with Devon on keyboard, the band covers Nautilus by Bob James.
It's been cool to watch it unfold, especially, you know, as time's going on with the pandemic and everything.
Andy lends his video editing talents to the mix.
It wasn't new, but now it's very familiar.
The musicians say the weekly solo sessions sharpen skills and keep tracks tight.
At this point, you know, we've come too far to turn back now.
The pandemic makes them appreciate jamming together.
I can't even imagine what the first rehearsal is gonna be like. People are gonna be so excited just to be back in the same room with everyone, you know. I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Everyone's gonna love getting back to doing things the way we used to.
Until that moment, members of Butcher Brown will play together thanks to technology and the vision of a producer who is finding his groove right at home.
It's a great challenge. It's definitely a great challenge. Like, I'm definitely happy to accept it, you know?
Music is Kayla Godero's passion. The San Diego State alum says being stuck at home has meant no more music practice in creative spaces.
Having that kind of taken away from us in this time of social distance is a really big loss.
Until now. SDSU Assistant Professor Chris Warren has been working on an audio production library and plugin called Echo Thief for about 10 years. Kayla asked the audio pro if there was a way to turn it into a program for musicians, so he did.
They're used to having the architecture around them be a huge part of their sound making. So without this architecture, it's really hard to recreate that sitting at home in your living room.
Warren has spent years collecting reverberations using an acoustic measuring tool.
We were able to take the sounds from around North America, a bunch of fascinating acoustic spaces, and make reverberators out of them so people can virtually perform in these spaces.
Listen to how a flute sounds in a living room. Now, with the application, a tunnel in Alaska. Or a racquetball court. A simple fix that Kayla says is an important tool for musicians stuck at home right now.
The room is just as much part of the ensemble as any musician is.
Performing a song called How Can I Keep From Singing and really meeting those words thanks to this technology.
There's so much more that's good to know. You're going to love the way that one business is recognizing people's hard work that often don't get the recognition.